Bianca, with more on those conditions out there as crews fight those fires.
Yeah, poor Megan out there in the Salinas Valley Express, the wind that blows up the valley every summer afternoon. And we're seeing those winds move to our inland valleys as well, farther inland. Latest conditions around the mineral fire. Let's talk about that one in far western Fresno County. Still hasn't jumped into Monterey County as far as I can tell. Most of the latest hot spots, I look at a satellite called the MODIS satellite, and it passes over the area a couple times a day, and it looks for hot spots. It still has the hot spots about a mile away from the Monterey County line on the north side. So the north side of this fire is probably the more active side right now, and it's kind of this little crest right here burning north up into the hills. Or it hasn't crossed Los Gatos Creek Road as far as I know just yet. There's still some hot spots on the south side as well, but they've really separated into two areas. Right now, weather conditions still hot and dry, 88 degrees, 27% humidity, and variable direction winds at 5 miles per hour on average, but gusts up to 18 miles per hour. So still dealing with some wind out there. And here's the latest look from the Joaquin Ridge cam. We see this big area of smoke. There was a new plume of smoke that came off the fire within the last half hour I was able to detect on satellite. So it is burning hot right now. Farther to the north, Coyote Fire fairly quiet today. Some good news, 78 degrees and a relative humidity up to 40%. Still seeing some wind gusts up to 10 miles per hour. Most of the latest hot spots were on the north side of this fire as well, up in the Antelope Creek drainage. Not near as much as we're seeing around the mineral fire as well. As we look, this is from the Henrietta Peak cam east of Hollister, looking to the southeast, and you can see a lot of smoke there, but no real definitive column coming up from this fire. And I haven't seen anything like that on satellite today, so maybe some good news as containment continues to increase there. Wind speed across the region still gusty at places, especially in the Salinas Valley as the winds blow inland as our marine layer deepens, and that is typical this time of year to see those winds in the valleys. Right now, temperatures around the bay in the 60s. We'll dip into the 50s after dark, and as far as the clouds are concerned, well, they're on their way back in. Inland areas right now in the 70s, 80s, and in some cases 90s. You're a little bit farther away from those cooler, cloudier conditions. So there are the clouds right now, mostly on the east shore of the bay and on the outer Monterey coast. Those clouds will thicken up late tonight, however, filling back into our inland valleys, eventually all the way into places like King City, Hollister, Gilroy as well, and that's what we'll wake up to tomorrow morning. As we look to the afternoon hours, mostly sunny skies for inland areas, partly cloudy on the coast, basically what we've seen over the last couple of days. Temperature-wise, we'll be back to 69 in Santa Cruz, 66 in Capitola, 70s to low 80s in the Santa Cruz Mountains. The warm spot being Boulder Creek at 84. Watsonville going to stay in the 60s tomorrow. Salinas barely reaching 70, barely reaching 80 in Hollister, which is a little bit warmer than today, and Morgan Hill, the hot spot there at 90. Back to the Bayshore, staying in the 60s. We'll round the peninsula into the 60s as well with 67 in Monterey, and the warmer area being Seaside at 69. And then down south, we'll see highs in the Salinas Valley ranging from that 74 in Gonzales to 99 in Bradley. King City, you do get into the 80s tomorrow, but Carmel Valley stays in the 70s. Over the next 7 days, not a lot of variation on the coast. As I mentioned earlier, our weather patterns blocked up, which means we're just going to see some minor variations in the depth of the marine layer over the next 7 days, which means not a lot of temperature change on the coast and probably partly cloudy skies every afternoon. We'll wake up to low clouds, see a little sunshine in the afternoon, clouds fill back in at night. Inland areas, more variation in temperature, I suppose, will be fairly seasonable. The winds will be blowing every afternoon. We could see some high clouds on Sunday, but if you are away from those coastal low clouds, make sure to look into the northwestern sky after sunset and maybe catch a glimpse of the comet. It is visible barely to the naked eye. It looks kind of like a little smudge, but it should be visible all the way into next week. Again, you have to get away from those clouds to see it, however.